Gotham City, Year 1, Issue 5, Tom King writing with Phil Hester on the art. Obviously, we had the cliffhanger last time of implicating Richard Wayne and everything that was going on. And this issue, of course, was tasked with explaining that. And so Queenie is the name of the girl here who, you know, gave Slam the letter, was kind of involved, has been looked for by the police and all that. So it turns out that Richard started an affair with her. She was working at a hotel, and he ended up seeing her, and they started this affair. He got her the gig at the nightclub that she wanted, and then ultimately wanted to use her in a ploy to steal his own baby to get ransom money that he could then use to divorce his wife, because his wife is, you know, legally owns everything he does and has half of it and all the rest of it.
He's that guy in the family that is terrible with money, but he's the, you know, the heir. And so Constance, his wife, is the one that keeps all control of it. So according to Queenie, this was his ploy to get that money. And it seems like his daughter got caught up in the crossfire.
Well, she only knows that it was to, she's under the impression that it was to get money so that he could then divorce her, right? It's not until later it becomes clear that no, he had no interest in like marrying Queenie and like leaving his wife. He just wanted to get the money so that he could keep gambling and getting prostitutes and whatever else he does with all this money that he throws away. Yeah, and we also get the context for how Slam's guy that he sent after her, that, you know, that day he got him to go follow her and he turned up dead. We get the context of that, which is that he saw and even took some photos of her with Wayne and tried to blackmail her, and then Wayne and her, or Wayne really was the one that killed him, but she didn't realize that it was going to be a violent thing. She thought they were going to pay him off or something, but it was Wayne that killed him in the rain that night. So
kept shooting. He unloaded the whole clip into him. I also like that Slam gets into how they met, as, you know, him and this guy, he knew about him when he was on the force. And then when he left the force because of, you know, the stuff that he had done, the blow up and whatever, he knew that to be a PI, he needed some of these like lower scumbag types. And this was like his best guy. So they ended up becoming kind of partners. And he kind of does feel responsible for the reason that he got killed. Although it does seem to me as a impartial person that this guy was going to scumbag no matter what. You know, so Slam shouldn't feel too bad.
Kind of seems that way. Well, he says he felt nothing when he found out he died.
Oh, is that what it is?
He says that. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Direct quote. And you get this great page where Wayne and Queenie kissed in the rain after he died. Almost like Wayne was like proud of himself in that
relishing
moment.
In it.
Yeah.
He had to be a tough guy finally, which again, a lot revealed about Wayne here, right? For someone that said that he hated smoking, according to his wife. Right, he's smoking and drinking this entire time, you know. So he's definitely they're definitely playing with perspectives here. King is definitely working us here.
Yeah, and then obviously we get the night where Queenie got the money, and then the baby didn't turn up, and then eventually it was found in the back garden of her uncle's house. It, you know, she's been set up here. She thought the baby was fine. She was going to drop off at a hospital. But then it was gone, and she didn't think anything of it. She assumed Wayne had someone else pick her up, sorry. And, you know, then it turned out where it showed up. And it's like, okay, so no one's going to believe me now. Now I've been framed, and this seems to be like, you know, we have to figure this out. And Slam wants to figure it out because they both feel that they've been screwed by, you know, these people. In fact, Slam even asks, like, why did you pick me? And she's like, you were the first one in the phone book. Your name was first because of Bradley.
Alphabetical.
Yeah.
And also it's up against this. I'm trying to find the right word, because it's not a ticking clock, but there's riots going on in the South Side now at the death of Helena Wayne.
Yeah,
right?
it's background throughout the issue that because of what's happened, the city's starting to erupt, and there's like fires, there's looting, just general chaos is happening, and that's kind of this backdrop. You hear it on the radio in the car at one point. You see it towards the end of the issue. So, it's doing all this. Slam takes Queenie to his mother, the fortune teller, who was introduced before, and she tries to read her. And basically says that, you know, if it turns out you're lying, like, Slam will shoot you at the end of this. and she basically can't take all these readings that are given to her. It's kind of, the readings are saying, oh, you're the fool, you were frightened, you've been used, you've given up on your own worth, and you're looking for something larger. It basically hits her with all these sort of criticisms, and she starts crying. It's kind of like she feels attacked almost, and she flips the table and doesn't finish and runs out. And then that's when we see some of the rioting. And these are gorgeous pages as well.
Hester is killing here because it feels like a pressure cooker, for sure.
Yeah, it's all the origins and yellows of the fire and the car lights and all that. Everything's really harsh and kind of, and then it contrasts immediately when you go to it's like a hotel room or whatever it is.
Yeah. It's all cool, like the cooler colors, the blues and the purples mixed in there. Yeah, I really love that tarot scene because it was super harrowing when you see that Slam has a gun pointed to the back of her head. And when the mom's like, yeah, and if he deems that you're not telling the truth, that's it. And it was just like, man, I was at the edge of my seat reading this and when she has that breakdown, to me, I read it as that's how they told her that she was telling the truth, is that she had such a breakdown of, I can't do this. I got used, they know that it wasn't her that, was on the hook for all of this. And that she has to be telling at least what she thinks is the truth.
Yeah. Because obviously there's another reveal by the end here, but the Slam goes to the old friend that was working for the Waynes, the security guy. He goes to his house and drags him out of bed, throws him out his window, and demands to know, like, because he assumes, like, hey, you must have been the one that did this. You must have gotten the baby at Wayne's behest and did what you did. This was you. And he throws him out the window onto his car roof, and then he gets into his car and drives down the street with this guy on the roof of the car, and then hits the brakes, so he goes flying off. So this is probably the most action-packed scene that we've had in this entire series, to be honest. Yeah. But it was very good.
The line that got me from Slam was he threw him onto the roof of his car, and he goes, and I had to duck because of the dent that he made in it. That is some hard-boiled pulp, detective stuff. I was like, oh man, Kane, you're killing it here. And then just the way that Hester draws it too, like you say, and all the action pack. The only other scene that comes to mind was when Slam goes to get the baby in the last issue, and he has that fight with the guy with the gun, with the shotgun. That was another really fun.
Oh sure, scene. Yeah, you're right.
But nothing like this. This is upper levels. This cranks that up even more.
Yeah. Also have to acknowledge the sound effect is the word slam at when he throws him off the roof.
And the brakes.
But so he's asking all these questions about, like, so you must have done this. You must have been the guy who did this for Wayne. And then it turns out that no, he doesn't work for Wayne. He works for Constance. They were hired to kind of keep Wayne in line to make sure he doesn't go out and like spend all the money and make sure, because he owes bad people money as well because he's borrowed money, and it's to protect him from those bad people coming for him. And it's like, yeah, we work for the wife. And then the end of the issue is Slam on his way to Wayne Manor, and the city's kind of burning behind him as he drives into Wayne Manor. And then
past the gates, it's almost like he's going into the gates of hell himself.
Yeah, the last panel actually shows the manor itself being on fire. It obviously isn't literal, but that's kind of what it feels like. But it's kind of like Constance found out, and then seemingly, and maybe there'll be a swerve here, but the inkling at the end of this issue is that Richard Wayne staged this kidnapping of his own daughter to extort money from his wife so that he could just have money to do what he wants. And the wife seemingly has found out about that / the affair and has made the choice herself to murder, because it mentions that the security guard says, no, we were at the manor, but like and Slam says, but was Mrs. Wynn there? And he's like, well, she was there, but she kind of went to bed early and was gone for like, or no, she went out for a drive. Sorry, she went out for a drive, and she was gone for a few hours. And it's like, that kind of sounds like she might did the deed.
I just come to why would she? Was it anger? Was it I don't understand a mother killing her own kid that way, of collateral in this. So I'm expecting a swerve, but if there's not one, then I'm curious how King.
The only thing I'm
off.
thinking is like there must be one of them ends up seeming like a good person to have Thomas Wayne later, because both of them right now feel like awful
They're terrible
human beings. Yeah. So
with Constance, so it's almost with her. I just felt like there were femme fatale vibes, but not like that. Not like she's the grand villain. With Thomas, though, it always felt like there was someone else pulling his strings, and I still feel like that's where we're going. There's still been too many owls. I feel like that's who he's indebted to. I feel that there's going, maybe not a Talon, but definitely a representative of the Court of Owls at play here.
Well, we're getting into the last issue, so we're going to get answers next issue, no matter what.
And I definitely feel like, again, if it's Constance and that she's pregnant, with baby number 2, and we'll see how that goes. And maybe that is, maybe Richard does survive it, and that's his come to Jesus type moment. And, I don't know. He seems pretty irreprehensible in this issue for sure.
Yeah.
So I don't know how you get yourself out of that one, but I'm curious to see where this goes, man. This book has been so good.
Yeah. Yeah, they both seem like such villains at this point that I'm curious to see how this wraps up with the idea that there's maybe hope for the Waynes going forward. But the art here's great. That page of them kissing in the rain was fantastic. The ending with driving into the the gates of hell, as it were.
Yeah.
All that stuff looked fantastic. The coloring, between the riot pages and the more calm, kind of cold, like conversation pages, the more black and white of the flashbacks, there's a lot of like jumping around in styles and coloring styles to like distinguish the scenes, and it all works really well. And it all came flooding back as soon as I started reading it, where we are, what the important parts of the story are, and all that sort of stuff. So, no, excellent. Looking forward to the final issue. Apparently, this isn't selling that well. Tom King, I think, said that on a podcast or something this past week, or an interview, maybe.
Well, we got one issue left. I'll definitely be pushing the trade when it comes out to people.
I'm sure the trade's probably going to do fine.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, maybe it's just not selling as well as these big 12-issue prestige books.
Yeah, I mean, it's got that crime book vibe too. So, it's a shame. I'm definitely going to push this on that because of once the trade hits. So, but yeah, no, thoroughly enjoying this.
No, it's good stuff. What you giving it, Matt?
I'm giving this one a 9.
I'll go 8.5. I'm not going to go quite onto the 9, but
the mood,
it's very good.
Everything about it had me, for a comic to have me at the edge of my seat. That's some good stuff.